Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. I upload PokeMMO content every day, and today I wanted to go ahead and sit here and run through my daily gym run sort of situation, and just sort of talk about a really interesting topic that is really cool to me, and I think would be really cool to a large part of the player base. And it's probably one of the coolest update ideas I've ever heard in the history of PokeMMO. Someone mentioned it to me recently in a live stream. They said, what if PokeMMO had a Nuzlocke mode? Something you would kind of select and lock in, and that would actually have physical, like pragmatic implications and like limitations on your account. It's very, very similar to if you ever played RuneScape, an Iron Man mode. So the way Iron Man mode started was that there was a YouTuber who, I forget if it was Bodhi or someone else, but there was a YouTuber who essentially wanted to play RuneScape self-sufficient, and that's what Iron Man is all about. Iron Man is you can't trade other players or can't sell or like buy or any sort of items or anything from other players. You have to like get everything self-sufficiently, and it became a pragmatic mode. It became when you were creating your character on RuneScape, you could now select Iron Man mode, and I think it's really interesting to think about that for PokeMMO. What if upon character creation you could select a Nuzlocke mode? I think that would be such an incredible thing for PokeMMO. Obviously, Nuzlockes are nice, but there's never any way to verify it. But like when you're playing an MMO format, I think it'd be really cool to see people running around as Nuzlockes and be able to see that. What they do in RuneScape is you have a little icon next to your name in chat that simplifies you're an Iron Man. And I think having that sort of thing in Pokemon, this would obviously require a ton of code work, I assume, and a ton of back-end work from the developers. It would be a big task, so I understand, but I think if imagine if PokeMMO was, the only, if not one of the only Pokemon games with a like selected Nuzlocke mode. I really think that would bring in a lot of new players, especially with how interesting of a Nuzlocke PokeMMO is, how it's not just a traditional, cartridge game. The fact that it's, multiplayer, the fact that it has its own custom balancing with the AI and the gym leaders and everything. I really think there's a lot going on, and I really do just think that PokeMMO having a Nuzlocke mode could really blow it up to an entire new audience, right? I think anyone in the Pokemon Nuzlocking community would absolutely have to give PokeMMO a try or a go if it had that pragmatic official Nuzlocke mode. I thought this was just super interesting to talk about. Obviously, I don't know the specifics. I don't know, all the actual. I don't know how it would possibly be coded. I don't know how pragmatic it is. I don't know how realistic it is. But I would love to hear all of your guys' feedback and questions and thoughts on this in the comments below. This is definitely a community discussion kind of video. This beautiful shiny war turtle up here. I would love to hear any sort of feedback, any sort of criticisms, any sort of, hey, like, do you think this is possible? What do you think about this? Is it worth the devs' time? That's a huge thing too with updates. It's totally fine, and you can freely ask for any sort of update you may want in the game, but one of the biggest things to understand or comprehend, there's a ton of good updates that could come to any game, but is it worth the dev's time? Like, is it good enough to really be warranted the time slot? I think that's probably one of the most important questions you can ask yourself or ask someone, when submitting an update idea for any sort of game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty shorter video than I expected, but I really do love the idea of a physical pragmatic, like a physical limitation on an account denoting like, hey, like I'm a Nuzlocke, like I can't trade my Pokemon, I can't use the GTL. How do you limit an account to only catch one Pokemon per route? I don't know how you would possibly do that, but really interesting. Like, I think this is a really interesting thing. I think it's a really interesting idea. Obviously, it's also tough because people go by different Nuzlocke rules. Like, people use different rules in some things. So we would have to create some sort of overarching, like, what are the most common rules and just go by that. Like, the rules that I use for my personal Nuzlockes might not be the same as the actual like set in Nuzlocke mode, but I'd be okay with that. I'd still be really happy to just have the mode at all. So that's pretty much my thoughts. If you guys enjoy this type of discussion video, let me know by liking it, dislike it if you didn't. Leave your comments and feedback and everything. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see daily PokeMMO content. Check out the Discord link down below, and then if you want to support the channel, there's links down below to do so. But you guys don't need to hear that today. I really enjoy it talking about this stuff, and I think it's a really exciting update, and I feel like it could be one of the best updates for the game possibly. You always hear a lot of update advice and a lot of update feedback by players from PokeMMO, but I really think this one was worth talking about. And I think this was one that it was very original. It's not just, a region. It's not just, adding new Pokemon, etc., etc. It's a really it's a way to make that's a way to capitalize on original PokeMMO or Pokemon content, which I think is really interesting. But that wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. I'm gonna go kill this gold duck in Simipour. I'll see you guys later. Peace.